evening. Welcome to Warrior TV. You're going to see a lot more of me this week. I know I'm going to be crackling. I don't know why. Probably Facebook. But tonight, we're going to be covering mental health with law of attraction. You can ask me, what the hell is law of attraction? I am partner Kerry. Well, we're going to cover it. But firstly, let me introduce my co-host for the night, the human GPS, Kerry Burr.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. You were breaking up very badly there.
I know. I don't know why.
No, and now you're...
Do you not think it's Facebook?
I don't know. I was experiencing some issues with StreamYard this morning during coffee morning, and your sound is now delayed from your video, which is interesting. But anyway.
It's probably me. I'm probably being censored. I don't know.
That's a bit better.
It may be you. It may be you.
Maybe it's StreamYard just catching up. Who knows?
It's probably updating from the blackout. I don't know. But anyway, law of attraction. So before we bring our guests on, how much do you know about law of attraction?
Oh my goodness. I think it's probably easier to answer the question, how much don't I know about law of attraction? I mean, it's been like a full-time study, if you like, for want of a better way of putting it, certainly for the last 4 years. I've been aware of it for a lot longer than that, but actually putting it into practice and, using it every single day of my life is like, yeah.
Shall we bring them on?
Let's
do it.
Yay.
Oh.
Still slacking a little bit with the sound. Yeah, we can hear you, Adam, but it's a little bit delayed.
I think people in London can hear me from here. Who knows? But if I get kicked out at any point, Kerry, can you please take over?
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes. We've got something in the private chat. I don't know, breaking up badly. Oh, fair enough. Am I okay now, Christina?
Yes.
That's better.
Brilliant. And we've already got a comment from our Rainbow Warrior, Caroline Bennis. Hi, guys. I'm looking forward to this. Guess what? I am as well. I just hope we don't cover any women's stuff. I'm there.
We'll stay clear. It's okay. It's all good.
Right, so we're going to mix it up with... I was about to say it then, the thing. Mental health and law of attraction. We're going to mix it up. So I'm going to start with Christina and Kerry Burr. Mix it up. Does NLP come into that?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
So go on, Christina. We'll start with you.
Well, with NLP, it's all about your internal communication. So when you're able to control your operating system, your central nervous system, your brain, your mind, ways of self-programming, visualization, you are using one of the primary tools, including emotions, when you can kinesthetically feel what you're looking for, what you're desiring. NLP amplifies all of that if it's either done on your own or with a practitioner. And so it is integral to helping you with the law of attraction. And I'm sure Kerry can add some pieces to that.
Yeah, I mean, you've pretty much hit the nail on the head, actually, Christina. I mean, all I would really do on that is kind of expand and explain what NLP is and how it works. But I think you've said it nicely in a nutshell and in a way that more people would understand. I tend to get a little bit technical when I start explaining things like that.
Professorial, eh? I've been accused of the same thing, so I've trained myself to talk regular English.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah. So obviously I've got to say welcome, Melissa, as well. How are we?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here with all of you, and yeah, blessed and well. Law of Attraction is a passion of mine. Learning the Law of Attraction teachings completely changed my experience of this life. So I'm always excited to talk about it.
Okay, let's get your perspective then. What is Law of Attraction for people that have not got a clue, i.e. I'm pointing to my partner.
Yeah. So the Law of Attraction is one of many spiritual laws actually believed to govern the universe in harmony. And it became popular in 2006 when The Secret came out. There's a movie and a book as well. It became labeled a new thought philosophy at that point. And the teachings actually date back to 1877 and even prior. So there's many authors that have written about the teachings of the Law of Attraction as they apply. And it even dates back even further in scripture. You can find scripture supports the teachings as well. So it's the Law of Attraction itself is a secondary law to the law of vibration. And it's the belief that positive or negative thoughts produce positive or negative life experiences. So if we're focused on negative and negative thoughts or negative beliefs going on within us, then that's producing negative feelings. And the feelings that we are showing up with in our day-to-day are being projected into our life and attracting back on a like frequency. And that speaks to the law of vibration. Everything's energy vibrating at a frequency. So I always give the quick example of, have you ever seen someone super happy and excited walk into the room? And it's almost like you can feel their energy, right? It's not, it's so easy to visualize that. And that's just it. We're all carrying all this energy, and we have these different thoughts and feelings, emotions and moods. We have these different beliefs that we've acquired over our life, and it's all playing a part in how we're showing up in our life.
Wow.
Yeah, it's deep.
Wow.
And once you get your head around it, once you get your head around the law of attraction and you do get an understanding of it, just as Melissa beautifully explained the whole process of it, you can become super aware of what you're thinking and really actually direct your thoughts how you want them to be and your emotions, because I think one of the main things is how you feel, because we're energy beings and we're vibrating on an actual frequency. What we're thinking, what we're feeling, we're bringing back to us. And once you become aware that actually this thought is actually going to manifest into my reality, you can stop and ask yourself, well, what will this thought bring to me? If I'm thinking I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to pay for something, or I'm scared that this might happen to me, or if I'm living in a fear-based world, let's say, and that's going to only be in a mental state, it's not going to be real, because everything's happening from mentally and from our emotions. So if we're constantly feeling like that and we're feeling fear of things around us, then we'll be attracting those people that's going to support what you're thinking and feeling. So you will have people come around that you could be fearful, or situations come around that will make you fearful, because it all really does come down to not just our thoughts, our emotions. And it's about being super aware of that so you can actually create something for yourself. Because I think another part to it is we create our own reality. It's down to us. It's how we think, how we feel, the words that we speak and the actions we take daily that makes a whole new difference to your life. And it's funny because with the law of attraction, because it's all energy based and it's vibrational based, you will see, you can really understand if you take like areas of, say you got a very wealthy area, everyone there will be of wealth, and then you think, well, how comes they're all in one place? It's because the law of attraction pulls them all together, because they've all got a similar thought process and a similar frequency going on, and their thought process is more of an abundance mindset rather than a lackful mindset. So if you go further down the road, let's say, you might see houses and apartments or flats that don't look so good, and the people that are living there are going to be more likely to be thinking more of on a lackful way rather than an abundant way. So they're going to be thinking that money's scarcity, they don't have opportunities, then are not able to get somewhere in life, and that's actually just putting that blockage on themselves, because anyone can switch how they think and how they feel at any time, but it takes practice, it takes patience, and it takes time.
I love it.
It's very interesting, because one of my later encounters of the law of attraction was being introduced to The Secret. And I mean, Rhonda Byrne, who wrote it, she studied and trained in the law of attraction at the same time as an acquaintance of mine did in Australia. And reading the book, I absolutely loved reading the book, and I loved watching the film. And in actual fact, because there's a series of books, isn't there, that are all based around The Secret. I think there's the Magic Hero,
yes.
Daily Teachings, but there was one vital thing that they missed out.
Feeling.
No, it was the taking effective action.
Yes.
Because I mean, you imagine, I believe in The Secret, they're talking about a guy, or one of the guys in there was talking about something to do with books, and he decided that he wanted to make $100,000 by the end of the year. So he wrote himself out a check, made it payable to himself for $100,000, and put it where he would see it on a regular basis. And then, as he's telling the story, he's just saying that basically they just carried on, as per normal. Essentially, that was the impression that we got. And lo and behold, although he didn't, at the end of the year, he hadn't quite made $100,000. I think he'd got very, very close to it, which was more than he'd made the year before. But all the way through, you hear about, visualizing and manifesting and having absolute belief and all this desire and everything else. But not once does it say about taking effective action.
That's so right.
And that kind of confused me a bit, because I thought, okay, so I keep dreaming of my dream home and believing that one day I will actually have it, but this has been going on for years. So why haven't I got it? And having that big bank account with loads and loads of zeros before the decimal point. Yeah. So it's you kind of think, okay, so how come it's working for him and not for me then? And it wasn't until a little bit later on, when I was introduced to The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. And again, since having read that, and also having read, what's it called? How can I forget the name of the book?
Think and Grow Rich.
Thank you. Napoleon Hill. Yes.
Okay.
Both of them, that they talk about having that desire, that unwavering, burning desire, and having absolute belief in yourself and what it is that you're doing and what you're aiming for. But they both talk about taking effective action. And this is important. It's kind of essential right the way through life, in every aspect of life, really, isn't it? When we talk about looking after our mental health, if we don't do the things, if we don't take effective action to look after it, it's all very well and good knowing that, okay, then, so, excuse me, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do something else. That's great. But then if you don't do it, then it's not going to happen, is it?
No.
Right.
And also what you just described is so true, because they really do keep out the action part. And I think also another thing they don't add in there is that we have a belief system. And you can say, I will make $1 million, but if you can say that on the outside, but remember, the law of attraction works from your vibration. So it's what's really happening deep within. So what you're emanating, it actually can do a turnaround on you and take you into the wrong direction, because you really think on the outside that you're just saying this and you believe it. And then the next thing you know, you end up subconsciously, you're actually focusing on debt. It's a really strange
It
turnaround.
really is. Yeah. I mean, this is why I love working with NLP, because you're working with the unconscious mind or subconscious mind, whatever you want to call it. And everything is coming from the unconscious mind, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. It's kind of like saying something like, having affirmations, for example, or, wanting to lose some weight, by, I don't know, by the end of November this year, I will be, I don't know, half a stone lighter than I am at the moment. And your unconscious mind goes, okay, yeah, that's cool. Don't need to do anything just yet then, do I? Got plenty of time.
Mm.
Or, you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I don't know, I am confident. And your unconscious mind's going to go, who are you trying to kid?
Yeah. So true. Yes.
If you're saying these things, saying things that are not actually true right now, if you've got that slightest doubt, it's going to come through. And this is where the vibration of energy comes in as well. It's working with the unconscious mind, working with NLP, working with people's thought processes, their beliefs, their feelings. We're taking in like billions and billions of bits of information each second, and our brains can only cope with a small fraction of that at any one time. So what it does, it goes through, everything that goes through a filtering system, and it generalizes and distorts and deletes. So we are, each of us at any given time, none of us will be taking in every single bit of information. None of us will be taking in the same pieces of information, and we will be generalizing, distorting, and deleting different bits to each other. And that's all according to what our core beliefs are, what, those things that are really important to us, our core values, what our current beliefs are. And those beliefs are as a result of previous experiences, what we've been taught as we've grown up, and things that we've picked up. And because it's kind of fitted in with our belief system at the time, we'll carry that belief with us as well, and potentially some values as well. So there's all of those things to take into consideration, plus all of our memories, the environment that we find ourselves in, just so many different bits of information there. Decisions that we've made in the past, so everything's being filtered through all of this, so that eventually what comes out the other end is our own individual perception of that particular thing, whatever that thing is. And that in turn will have an effect on our physiology, which of course in turn will have an effect on our state, our emotional state. So what we perceive is generally what we believe. that becomes our reality. Is that all getting a bit too technical for everybody, or are we still all right with that? How about you, Adam?
Oh, that's right on.
Are you
Keep
there?
going. Keep
Okay.
going.
Excuse me. But of course, our perception, our state, our physiology, each of those, well, it's like a loop. It can have a knock-on effect on the other. And all of that can also have a bearing on what we think we've seen. When I explain it to people, I usually use the film analogy. You know, we could all be sitting in the same room together at the same time, watching exactly the same film, and each of us will come away from that film having had a completely different experience from the next person. All based on all of those things that I've just mentioned before, but also on how we are feeling, how our minds are at the time, what state of mind we're in, how we're feeling, you know, what we're thinking, what we're believing. We can watch that film and think, what an absolute load of rubbish, but then go back to it at a later date when we're in a different place completely and thoroughly enjoy it and wonder why we didn't enjoy it the first time around, you know, or vice versa. How on earth did I manage to enjoy that the first time around? I think it's a pile of pants down, you know. So we are constantly changing, you know, right the way through each day. And this is where our mental health comes in. And I think this is where a lot of people kind of start to misunderstand it. I know, I appreciate and accept that we have certain conditions, and we're kind of getting into the area of labels now, like depression, bipolar, etc., etc. But it is very much based on what we allow ourselves to think and how we allow ourselves to feel. And most people don't realize that we do have a choice in what we think. We do have a choice in how we feel. It's not a bad thing to feel low, or as if we're not in control. We're meant to feel those things. We're human. But as long as we don't allow those feelings and those thoughts to control us and our lives, and make sure that we are in control of them, we can change them at any time. And this is the beauty, the absolute magic of NLP, is that with the tools that I have at my disposal, I can help people to do that. I can help people to change their thought processes to ones that are far more useful to them. I can help people change their beliefs to ones that are far more useful to them, their behaviors, their, you know, how they feel about things, how they move forward from things, crappy things that have happened in the past. And in doing that's for them, it's enabling them to then start taking advantage and making really good use of the law of attraction in the best possible way, rather than constantly feeling low, constantly having negative thoughts, and constantly attracting more of the same.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, obviously, for the viewers who are tuned in, like, hello, Robert from America, Caroline, everyone, Kerry, all that. I'm going to do it simple for people that don't understand all the technical terms, what you've come out with, girls. I did a live video a couple of days ago, well, last week, regarding triggers. Now, and you made a valid point there, Kerry, regarding subconscious mind without even knowing about it. I think that happened to me last week, because I think I actually did a bit of NLP and law of attraction all in one. Now, obviously, I was talking about triggers, but talking about if you get the right strategies, right mindset, you can actually turn those triggers into opportunities.
Yeah.
So maybe I've done that. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
What was your situation? What happened?
In what way?
So
Triggers.
you were talking about triggers.
Just triggers in general, because we can all get triggered at any time. It could be, I don't know, COVID. It could be kids, because kids can trigger all the time. It could be something that happened in the past and it just flashback straight away. It could be anything.
So you're saying you found a way in the moment of speaking about it to kind of understand how the universe works through understanding the triggers and how you can turn those triggers into opportunities, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's what it's about, isn't it? If you've got a trigger and you can recognize it, I think that's a massive thing of like understanding how to align with the law of attraction. It's to understand when you are triggered, take that time, as Melissa says it so well often, is to just take that time and pause, recognize what's happening, and then choose what you'd prefer to think about, what you'd prefer to believe, and look for what is the opportunity in this. And I've heard Dr. Joe Vitale say, actually, if there's something that you're complaining about, say you're in a shop and there's something going on and you think, oh, why that we need to have, I don't know, this or that created, then that's an opportunity for you to go and start a new business venture as such, because you've complained about something, there isn't a solution to it, but you're the one complaining in that moment. So if you can find the solution and actually, as Kerry was saying, take the action, you can actually create something to sort the problem out, where lots of people might have the same problem. They might say, oh, why is there always, I don't know, I'm trying to think I'm thinking of a supermarket, and how you'd go into a supermarket and that be something that triggers somebody, or has a problem there.
Asda.
In Asda. And I think there's lots of problems in Asda. I'm joking. So I'm just saying that you can find opportunities in anything. So they say, Dr. Joe Vitale always says, look, listen out for what you're complaining about, because you can create a solution to that problem, is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. Now, I want to mention a comment, and I want all of your views on this. I'm going to start with you, Melissa. Caroline's put, a good sign that you are progressing in the right direction is if you feel younger as you are growing older.
So anything is about the lens we're viewing through and our mindset, what our beliefs are, as we've talked about. I think, when you have the mindset that there's more than enough, that, I was just actually talking to my mom last night, and we were talking about upcoming birthdays, and I was just saying I definitely don't feel my age. So, I definitely resonate with Caroline's comment.
Yeah. What do you think, Christina?
I agree very much. I'm 64, and I feel much younger than my age. What happens as you get older, I think, is that the wisdom and the experiences become these lessons that are so rich. You begin to appreciate every little thing. And particularly when you're practicing the law of attraction, when you're practicing well-being, then definitely, Carolyn, there's no doubt about it as far as I'm concerned.
Kerry?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Since I've realized what it's all about and really taken full advantage of using it every single day, certainly for the last 3, 4, 5 years, knowing what I know with NLP as well, everything for me has kind of like, every bit of the jigsaw puzzle is there now. Everything's like slotted in really nicely, and I can see the bigger picture, and I know who I am, I know where I'm going, and I know.
Does that include your dogs?
That's the thing, with the dogs.
And your kids then.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think once you realize that, and once you accept all of these things, I think you begin to relax more. And once you're relaxed more, you're allowing yourself to sort of let your hair down a bit and have fun and just enjoy your life.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so, yeah, absolutely. I feel younger now at 52 than I did at 45.
What about you, Anthea?
I feel like I'm 20, and I'm
Yeah.
definitely 20. I'm 100%. But in relation to what Caroline's saying, yes, you're definitely moving in the right direction. You're definitely progressing well if you're feeling younger as you're getting older, because that is a good sign to say to yourself, well, because you're feeling younger, that shows you straight away that you are in the right track. Because you're not stressing so much, you're not worrying so much, you're kind of probably being a lot more present in yourself, and that certainly makes you feel younger. We've got somebody in our mastermind membership who's 70 years old, and you wouldn't think it for a second. The guy has so much energy.
Yeah.
He bounces around like this.
Love him, yes.
Yes. I mean, like, honestly, he can walk me under. He can walk a lot further than what I can walk. He can walk upstairs a lot quicker than what I can do it. And he's been practicing these teachings. We've been working alongside him, and he's feeling younger and younger, and doesn't look at a birthday as if. You hear so many people go, "Oh, it's my birthday. It means I'm getting a year older." Well, that kind of tells you you're not in the greatest place because you're dreading it. Or actually, it should be, if, like Caroline is saying just there, you're definitely progressing right because you feel good. And the better you feel, stops the wrinkles, it stops the aging so much. You don't look, because when you're stressed out, you're kind of like so tense that your body just kind of stays in that tense mode. So eventually that's going to break out and you're going to show. But if you flip that over and you feel good, then eventually that's going to show through too. So kind of, as I don't know who said it earlier on, but it's all a choice, right? It's all a choice. So well done to you, Caroline, for going in that direction and progressing that well, that you feel that much younger. Because, yeah, I feel as young as my children, and they're 20 and 21. So I'm definitely 20.
We're here to talk about the law of attraction, and it absolutely fits in with what you said, Kerry, about choice and about changing what you think and the ability to make that change. I think if I interpret correctly, you want your audience to understand how to begin to practice the law of attraction. What is the goal? What does your audience need the most today so that we can be of service?
So I think my personal opinion with it is that there are several things to take into consideration here. I think first and foremost is gratitude. Gratitude is such a powerful energy. It's, if you like, it's the power cord that links us to the universe. And gratitude is about actually feeling grateful and thankful for all the wonderful things and the wonderful people that we have in our lives, but feeling it on a regular basis. And it can be, it doesn't have to be the big things, it doesn't have to be, I'm really, really grateful for my fabulous car, or, that I've got a roof over my head, or I've got the most up-to-date whatever TV, that's more like a cinema screen than anything else. But it's about being grateful for the little things that we take for granted each and every day. Like, for example, having clean running water, like having central heating, like having food in the cupboards, waking up in the morning and looking forward to the day, and knowing that you're going to embrace all of those wonderful opportunities that come to you throughout the day, and noticing each one as they do arise. But equally, it's about being open enough to recognize those opportunities for what they actually are. I can take you back to a time about 15 years ago. I'd had a nervous breakdown, and I was due to have psychotherapy, but I was having to wait quite a few months before I could have my first appointment. And I was essentially, if you'll excuse the phrase, a tit in a trance for a few months after it happened. I wasn't functioning properly. I hadn't got a clue what day of the week it was, where I was, who I was, what I was doing. Struggled to string a sentence together, a coherent one at least. And I woke up one morning because I was living in an abusive environment, and I woke up one morning and I just thought, you know what? I don't want to live like this anymore. You know, this is not how it is supposed to be. This is not how I'm supposed to be living. And I also realized that the only way that my life was going to change was if I actually did something about it. So that was, I mean, I didn't realize it at the time, but when I look back, I can see the light bulbs coming on and the decisions that I made at that time, and the very fact that back then it was right, okay, I need to get back to work. You know, I can't spend all day every day just around the house. I need to get back to work. I need something to focus on. I need to be around people. So, and then I had a phone call from the boss at the company I was working for at the time. And he said, did I fancy coming in? You know, how are you? Come in and have a chat. So I did. And he actually said to me, how do you feel about coming back to work part-time? And I was like, yes, please. So that was arranged. I went back to work part-time, and he said to me, you know, it was on my terms, on days and hours that suited me. And then, you know, when I was ready to go back full-time, then, you know, he'd get it arranged. Literally at the end of the second week of doing mornings, I went up to him and I said, any chance I can come back full-time now? And he said, when do you want to come back? When do you want to start full-time? I said, how about Monday? And he said, okay, leave it with me. We'll get it sorted. And he did. By the summer of that year, you know, I was back working my old job full-time, and it was like nothing had happened. And then all of a sudden, they announced that they were making all the office-based staff redundant. And my first thought was, oh my God, now what am I going to do? Then it transpired that what they were doing was they were centralising all of the office duties to their head office in Liverpool. I was living and working in Kent at the time. And my boss had a chat with me, and he said, you know, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I don't know, to be honest. You know, I hadn't really given it much thought. And he said, if the opportunity arises for you to do your job at head office, would you take it? And I said, well, I'd never been to Liverpool before, but yeah, I suppose it's definitely an option that I would consider. And as it happened, he then went and had a chat with the MD. So when the MD came down to explain to everybody what was happening, and why it was happening, he pulled me to one side and had a chat with me. And he said, you know, understand that relocating is an option for you. And I said, well, yeah, it is. And so anyway, he just went through a few things with me, and I had to fill out a few forms and send it back the following week, which I did. On the Tuesday, on the Wednesday, HR rang me and said, could I go up on the following Monday, and take all my work paperwork with me, and could I be there for 9 o'clock, please? I was like, yeah, okay, then no problem. And that Monday was 5 days before I was supposed to have my first psychotherapy appointment. Now, if I'd gone the other way and went, oh my God, you know, redundancy, blah, blah, blah. And my boss had said to me, how do you feel about, you know, working up in head office if I can wangle it? If I'd turned around and said, oh no, I can't do that, you know, I wouldn't have been seeing it as an opportunity. I wouldn't have been seeing it as the opportunity that it was that I needed at that time. I mean, I didn't realize it at the time, but then for that split second, I suddenly saw my escape route, you know, from an environment that I hated being in, that was absolutely pulling me down all the time.
Yeah.
So it is about what state of mind are you in at the moment? Something like that comes along. Somebody says to you, you know, redundancy. What are you going to think? How are you going to react to it? How are you going to respond to it? Are you going to sit there and go, oh my God, you know, it's the end of the world. I'm losing my job. I'll have no money. I won't be able to do this. I won't be able to do that. Can't pay this, can't pay that. Or do you go, okay, so what does this now make possible? And that, I think, is quite an important question to ask, particularly when it comes to the law of attraction and for mental health as well. It's how we respond to things.
Exactly. Absolutely. And I've got another question, which actually does involve both. And I'm going to start with you, Melissa. When did you come to terms about when you found that your law of attraction, that you wanted to take action on it?
Well, I think it comes down to, it's about 15 years ago, and I was really wondering how I could change my life. And instead of asking the question over and over, why is this happening? Why is that happening? And having a negative, question, I finally stopped one night and just asked, what can I do to change my life? And that question changed everything, because my brain went to work looking for the answers, and I went on a quest to find the answer. I went to the library because we didn't have social media back then, and found all these great books on healing and self-love and forgiveness, and that led me to discover The Secret, the book. And for me, it was a really powerful book, because I was ready. I was ready to do whatever it took to feel good and see my life get better. And I applied everything I learned in the book, everything that they talked about, everything that they taught. I literally just soaked it up like a dry sponge and, absorbed it into my spirit. And, there's a lot of other practices that go along with how I achieved success manifesting the things that I desired. But I did begin to see my dreams come true one after one. Not only that, the biggest and best blessing was the way I felt. I was excited for life instead of dreading getting up the next day and having to go to work and having this negative outlook on life. It completely changed my outlook and how I felt about life. And that was the biggest blessing. I did go on to manifest amazing things, so many, and we're, clearly going to get close to out of time to share too much today. But as I began to believe, and that was the key, if you don't believe, and really go within and do like some self-reflecting to what are your beliefs? What is your way of thinking? And how is that impacting your experience of this life? I went from having this fixed mindset to this positive growth mindset, which is another powerful key point. If you have, have not identified your mindset, it's a really important step. If you have a positive growth mindset, you're open to learn and apply, and that really is the key. So definitely saw it completely change my experience of this life and ripple out to those around me, and seen amazing things happen for people close to me as well from all that I was learning. So it was literally life-changing. Yeah.
Brilliant. I'm going to ask the same question to Dr. Christina as well regarding the law of attraction.
So when I was 18, Pantsuits were all the rage, and that was a long time ago. I wanted a red pantsuit more than anything. Red is my color, as you can see. I'm an Aries, and so I kept seeing this red pantsuit in my mind of what I wanted, and I absolutely do not kid you. I walked into Macy's, and on the rack, right in front of me, was a red pantsuit in my size that looked absolutely fabulous. So that was my first inkling that, And then I took a course called Silva Mind Control, which was really the prelude to the law of attraction becoming more known. I since went into holistic health and studied science and understood the relationship between frequency, the frequency of all things, and what we manifest, studying energy medicine. So fast forward to, I guess I was in my 30s and 40s and began studying with a prosperity coach. And she had a program called the Prosperity Place, and just really dove deep into the law of attraction then and continued. I too struggled with The Secret because it had a fallout for my son, who was maybe 10. I don't remember exactly how old he was. And he saw on the movie that some kid got a bike from imagining it. And I'm sorry I ever showed him the film at that point, because he didn't understand that he couldn't just put a picture of the bike on the fridge and then boom, it shows up. I mean, if it had been Christmas time, maybe, but that would have been a false experience of the law of attraction. But it's been a lifelong process for me, because in Silva Mind Control, the whole way that they teach it is that what you visualize and what you feel and how you see it before it happens was my orientation at 18. So it's been a lifelong study, a lifelong practice, and some things came easier than others. I had a time when I was in the car with my then husband, and I was visualizing, I was half asleep, and I was seeing a little boy's face, and this was before I had any children. And lo and behold, I became pregnant with a little boy. And so, it's really interesting how the subconscious works and how we can see before it happens. And then when you really believe, and as Kerry said, it's so important to find those hidden anti-beliefs. And that's really been the life challenge of learning how to turn those beliefs and that vibration of lack, et cetera, around. That's really the work. So.
Brilliant. I absolutely love that. I really do. And before we move on to Anthea, I've just got to ask, because you're an Aries, are you more on the spiritual side? Because I've just got that gut feeling.
Yeah.
I thought
so.
Crystals and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. I do. I love crystals. I really do.
Yes, totally.
Yes.
I've got mine lined up on the windowsill.
Love it.
I have crystals hanging from my living room window, and when the sun comes in, I get rainbows all around my room.
Ah, beautiful.
Oh, which one's your favorite?
Which one's my favorite? Probably the disco ball crystal that has all the different etchings, because it makes so many. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Now, Anthea, me and you have known each other a number of years now. I think we're coming up to 5 years now. What does mental health mean to you from a law of attraction perspective?
I really feel it's the thought process that we go through, and we're just not taught. Mental health is our state of mind at the end of the day. So it's how we think about things. And I know there's so many labels out there, so I don't want to go, I want to stay really above the surface here and not go too deep into anything. But I truly believe that if you've got the right people around you to help you from where you are to understand your thought process and understand why your thoughts are happening, then I think everybody can fix, shall we say, their mental health. You can really work to a better way of thinking. And it literally is because so many of us are not educated on that side. I mean, I'll give you an example. I remember being at school and thinking to myself that somebody was going to sit down and the chair was going to move. And I remember thinking it and it happened. And I was like, I just thought it and it happened. And a few things like that would happen. And people would just shut me down because at the end of the day, no one understood what I was talking about. I didn't even understand what I was talking about, but I did understand that there was something to do with our thoughts, but I didn't know what my thoughts even were. I had no idea. And it wasn't until I went along on this journey, and then, like Melissa rightfully said, I think when you're wanting a change in your life and you're kind of fed up with what's going on, or even not fed up, could be that you're at a really good level and you want to shoot and get to the next stage in your life, and you've created all these wonderful things, but you want to tune in more and you want to create more for yourself. Or it could be you're in a really bad place and you want to change your life. I think it all starts with an awareness of how you're thinking and how you're feeling, because the mental health side is what it really comes down to. That's why we get put into the category of depression. Depression's the massive one that gets thrown around everywhere. Oh, you're depressed, take some pills. Oh, you're depressed, take some antidepressants. And you hear it thrown around so easily and loosely. It upsets me because I think to myself, well, look, if somebody was to sit down and help that person understand that it all starts up here. It's what are you thinking? And I think Kerry was saying earlier on, it's not just a thought process that's come around today. It's a thought process that we've been programmed to think since we were little, since we were born. So it's not an overnight thing that's going to happen, but it does start with an awareness. So rather than throwing pills at people, sit down, send them to somebody who can literally help them understand what's happening up here. Because if you don't know what's happening, you can't relate it to nothing. And that's when you start thinking, is there something wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? Why are these things happening to me? And, I've been there. So like when I was younger, I've been there a lot. And if I had somebody had explained to me back then what was a thought process about, then maybe I wouldn't have experienced half the things that I had to experience. However, I say that, I honestly believe that we've got this journey and we experience these things to become who we're meant to be anyway. So you kind of discover them along the way. But yeah, I really think with the law of attraction and the mental health side, you can really actually tune into yourself, and really harness the law of attraction to make it work, to make your life better and better and better, like literally day by day, week by week, month by month. And you can, shall I say, I'm going to say cure yourself, but it's not actually a cure. It's more of an awareness and an understanding.
Would you say possibly stabilize your mindset? I don't know.
Stabilize yourself. Yeah, I suppose, because there's, like, we're probably all aware here, maybe the audience are not aware, but we have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. So that's a lot of thoughts that are going to go around in your mind, right? But if you can start actually hearing the ones that are speaking out the most and write them down to say, okay, these are my most dominant thoughts that keep coming to my head. I'll give you an example. I don't know why this. It's quite funny because I was abroad, and something kept on coming to my mind, and it was an accident, and it was really bizarre because it was like I had no control over what was happening, and it kept on saying accident, and I was thinking, where is this coming from? And I was trying to flip it around and say to myself, oh, don't be so silly. You're going to have the best day possible. But it was deep rooted in me. It was like something took over. And anyway, I tried to go for a drive. As I'd got into the car, I was going for a drive. I wanted to go for a little drive around, and I kept on getting blocked in each road I tried to turn down. And there was accidents happening all around me. So this thing that was this dominant thought that was happening with the feeling started to surround me. And then that particular night I had an accident, and I was like, wow. And I really wanted to figure out at that point, what it's like you're being told what's about to happen, and to be able to avoid it, you're able to tune into things and be able to see, hear things, if that makes sense. That sounds a bit like woohoo, but it's tuning into the right thought process. So while that thing was happening, had I stuck around and stayed at home and tried to ignore it, then I could have maybe prevented something from happening. But I wanted to kind of get rid of it and not think about it, which wasn't actually happening. So it just goes to show how powerful your thoughts are. I'm not saying that someone's going to think that and it's going to happen. Mine was really deep rooted in that time. So yeah, look, our thoughts are powerful, and that's really where I want to go with this. It's just super powerful. So I think if more people understood it, we could balance our thought process. We could learn how to deal with it, and we could actually switch it up to have better thinking processes, better feeling experiences, and a better life altogether.
I totally agree. I really totally agree. Now, we could talk for hours. We really could. Yeah, I've just took a leaf out of your book, Kerry. Sorry about that. But we've got to cut this short because obviously I know Christina's got a meeting in probably 10 minutes, is it?
It's 3 minutes from now.
Oh, there you go then. There you go. Right, so we'll cut it short. I hope you ladies can come back for part 2. This will be absolutely amazing if you do, because we've got so much to cover. We really do. I think we're only scratching the surface when it comes to law of attraction, because it goes deeper. Yes. So on that note, I will end this. All I've got to say is thank you to everyone that's tuned in, whether you're on the replay or not. Please tune in tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. UK time, when Empower You is back with Tessa Spanberg and Steve Knapp. Aussies take over yet again. Great. I'm probably going to be in the supermarket. Who knows? But all I've got to say is...
as well, can I just add something?
Yeah.
Just sorry to cut you there, but I don't want you to come to the end and then you just go press and it's gone and I'm going, I wanted to say.
No, go.
No, it was actually to do with what we do also. So like, obviously we've had this meeting here and we've done an hour. We've sort of been able to cover bits and pieces, but we do, myself, Dr. Christina and Melissa do teach the law of attraction, and we do have a group called the Law of Attraction and the Secret, which Melissa has built from scratch. It's got 194,000 people in it. We're also we also help people in the coaching side, and we have a private membership which is really available to everybody who wants to learn more. So if anyone does want to know anything about the law of attraction and would like to start that process of changing your thought process and changing the way your life, the direction of your life, then please visit us at www.becomingabundantlyu.com, and you can find that we have all different things going on, courses, memberships, and we would love to connect with you all and be able to take everyone's life, help them take it to the next level. So yeah, so I just wanted to just put that out there, Adam.
And just quickly, Christina, where can people find you?
Well, at becomingabundantlyu.com. I also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/Dr. Chris Winsey, and drchriswinsey.com.
Brilliant. Absolutely. And obviously, thank you, Christina, for sending me the website in the chat. I will add that to the description, and there you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Adam.
you all.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Bye.
Right. Bye for now.